Pete's Outdoor Adventures. Let's go. Today we're going to take a look at some of my favorite toys. We're going to take a look at three of my kind of classic sports muscle cars that I own. And I currently own an 85 Vet, classic, beautiful car. Some of the motorcycles that I've owned, a boat that I've owned. So like I said, this channel will be about hiking and camping, fishing, hunting, and cars, classic cars, and all sorts of motorcycles and that type of thing. So I hope you're into that and enjoy. Well, here we go. My first car that was kind of sporty is a Ford Mustang. You gotta love Mustangs, you gotta love Fords. This was not a classic car, but it was a convertible. It was a Ford Mustang. I had always dreamed of having a Mustang. Now, I wanted a classic Mustang, and of course this is not a classic, but this was wonderful just the same. Had a lot of gumption, a 3.8 liter engine. It had a lot of guts to it. I enjoyed a lot of rides with my wife. And again, it was just a neat car to have. Top down, convertible, lots of fun. You gotta love it. So here is my biker girl, my daughter, and now we're going to talk a little bit about motorcycles. My buddy Jack, part of the Freebirds, and then my son. We got a chance to do some riding together. We had a lot of fun motorcycling, a little bit dangerous. That's why we did get rid of them ultimately. But I rode for many, many years. And I guess I'd have to say I kind of lucked out. Never got into any crashes or anything of that nature. But my son had a Honda Shadow 600 VLX. It was a peppy little bike, his first bike. So we rode together, and I gotta tell you, that thing had some pep. It stayed up with my 1500. And it was a great bike to learn on, yet you didn't have to transition to anything else because the 600 was enough. Then I had my motorcycle, which is the fourth road bike that I had. The last road bike I had was a Suzuki Intruder, legendary classic LC 1500. And I took this thing all over the place. Vermont, Americade, Friday the 13th bike rally, the Finger Lakes, Canada. So now we'll get into some boating. I had a beautiful boat, a 17-foot Stingray. Had 140 horsepower Chrysler in it. There's my buddy Sean piloting it, and we've had some great times in that with the family. Been out on the lakes. We've had the boat out on Lake Ontario, on the Finger Lakes, on the Erie Canal quite a bit, which is probably one of my favorite rides because it's slow and you're just lumbering down the Erie Canal and enjoying the sights at a very slow pace. But we've had it at a number of different places, Lake Alice and on and on. It just was a joy to have. And now, onto my little sports car. There are sports cars, and then there are muscle cars. This was a sports car. Only had 4 cylinders. It was a 1999 MX-5 Mazda Miata. Beautiful little engine in it. This thing was what I would call swift. I mean, it was almost like driving a go-kart in a sense. It was very small, but it was great around the corners and cornering, and the way you leaned into the corners, it was absolutely incredible. Once again, convertible, and you just pull the convertible top down. You could do it at a stoplight. It just took a second to do that. Fun car. Very swift. Swift is the word. one of the funnest cars I've ever driven. This thing is swift and quick and light. It's only a little over 2,000 pounds, which is amazing. So it is light and it is nimble and it is quick cornering. And because it's so light, it's just quick and swift. I mean, it just moves. It's not a muscle car. Sheer joy to drive. And now onto my current muscle car. This is a 1985 Chevy Corvette. And when I bought it, it had the classic rims on it. I wanted something a little bit more aggressive in both the tire and rim. Not that the classic rim didn't look good, but the new rims just make it more sporty. And I got to tell you, I've dreamed of having a Corvette. And of course, Corvettes are very expensive. But this thing I got used for a great price. And I love taking it to the car shows. It's got just under 80,000 miles on it. Let's take a tour. Okay, here we are, and I'm up at a cemetery on Church Street, and this is my car, my vehicle. Got a sign the way it's coming off there, so it's a little hard to see, but that's my Vet. It's a beautiful Vet. It's in great shape. Outside is in great shape. The tires, I just got to get new tires, but the wheels are in great shape. Everything about it really is in nice shape. It's a nice car. You can see my stuff up there because I'm just sitting and hanging out. It's the front, and it's just kind of cool. It's a nice car, and it's got that two-tone. It's like brown on the bottom, silver on top. And at first I didn't like it, but now I really have fallen in love with it. So it's really cool. And it's got the classic. It's a Vet. You can see this classic look right here. If it works out, it's a classic Vet. Dual exhaust, the whole thing. The interior is in excellent condition. It's got the racing seats in it that are just beautiful. And let me just tell you something. When you sit in this car, you know you're in a sports car, a muscle car, and a classic car. Back in the 80s, baby, you're in a classic, and I've always wanted a classic. I love this 85 Corvette. So I hope you've enjoyed viewing some of these cars. Again, it's just a sheer joy to drive some of these sports cars and classic cars and muscle cars. The motorcycle, I've had 4 different motorcycles. They've all been fun. Road bikes, I've also had dirt bikes beyond that when I was younger, but 4 different road bikes, and they've all been of sheer joy, and they've all had their own personality. And I ended up with that Suzuki Intruder, legendary classic 1500, which was a great motorcycle to end up on. So I hope you've enjoyed this, and I will see you next time. Pete out.